What are you saying, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So Valentine's Day is literally just a few days away, so I wanted to do a dedicated video to especially targeting anyone that's single. I'm basically going to be talking through a few points which I think are important to bear in mind and just remember, especially as the whole Valentine's Day hype is kind of around. So here we go, let's roll the intro and then we can get straight into it. Mwah. Okay, firstly, let's kick it off by saying Valentine's Day is not only about romantic love. We've been programmed to think that it is, from everything that we see, we hear, the media, whatever. It's just constantly being fed to us that Valentine's Day is a romantic holiday for you to celebrate if you have a significant other, if you're in a romantic relationship, and that's it. And it's not. It's about love in all forms. It's a celebration of love. It's a celebration of self-love, romantic love, love between friends, love between family members, any kind and any form of love. That is literally what this day is to celebrate. Are you telling me that the only time that you've felt love in your life is when you've been in a romantic relationship? No, absolutely not, because we're always surrounded by love. If you're lighting a candle and sitting down and watching one of your favourite films, that's a form of self-love. If you are calling one of your friends just to see how they are, again, that's a form of love. You're expressing love. Or if you're helping out a family member with something and you're like actively helping them with something that they can't do by themselves, again, that's another form of love. And Valentine's Day is to celebrate all of that. Romantic love, platonic love, and everything in the middle. And it's difficult to remember that around this time of year because we are just so conditioned to believe that that isn't true. We're conditioned to believe that it's just about romance. And if you don't have that, then this isn't a time for you. And we need to reject that. That's just the way that we've been made to feel, but that's not actually the way that it is. And we shouldn't be made to feel that way. Another thing to remember is what you see on social media of people's relationships is never the full story. Social media in general, slight tangent, but social media in general, what you see is never the full story. And it's so difficult sometimes to remember that because it's so easy to get caught up in the image of things. You need to actually remind yourself that, hold on, whatever I'm seeing, it's cool to acknowledge it and appreciate it, yeah, fine. But draw the line when you start to compare things of your own experiences to what you see on the screen, because I'm telling you, you're not getting 100% of the story. And in the same way, I feel like with Valentine's Day, I know a lot of people that have made comments before about like, oh, you know what, it's best to just stay off of socials if you are single and it comes to Valentine's Day, because you will just keep seeing people loved up. And it's so easy to see that stuff. Even if you are in a relationship, you're comparing your relationship to someone else's through what you're seeing and what is being represented on Valentine's Day about the couple. The same way, if you're single, if you're in a relationship, regardless, it's so easy to compare, especially when it comes to Valentine's Day. There could actually be more love in your life as a single person than there is in someone else's life who you may be seeing on Insta, and you may see that they have received a bouquet of roses, like some Cartier ring, and got balloons and like loads of, you know, just loads of like fluff, loads of like very cutesy stuff. They could be showered with gifts and like going to a fancy meal and be all dressed up and everything. And you may see that and think, oh wow, they are so lucky. They are so lucky. Like, look how great their relationship is. Like, look how much he did for her. Look how much she did for him. I wish I had that. I don't have that in my life. I wish I had that. But you are now comparing how much love you think they're experiencing to how much love you are experiencing. But really, you could be the one that actually has more love in your life. You have no idea. So much is for show, so much is for an image. Don't compare the love that exists in your life to the love that you think exists in someone else's life because of the way it looks on social media. You never have any idea what anyone else is experiencing, and this is a very, very key time to remember that. Another thing to remember is that we're all on our own timeline. We all experience things at the time that we experience them for a reason, because that is in our best interest. You could be the same age as someone else and they could be in a wildly different part of their life to you. And that doesn't mean you're never going to get that or they're never going to get what you've got. It just means you're on your own separate journeys, you've got your own timeline, and it's different to that person's. In the same way, if your life is not about romantic love right now, that's okay. And it doesn't mean that you're not good enough. It doesn't mean you're never going to get it. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean anything like that. It's not a reflection on yourself. It just means that right now, your life isn't about that, and that's genuinely okay. There is so much beauty in being single and being happily single. My life hasn't been about romantic love for a really long time now, like for quite a while, and I'm not upset about that. I've been so content just being within myself, and honestly, I've been so happy. I feel like my life isn't about that right now, or it hasn't been about that. My life has been about myself. It's been about putting my energy and my attention and my focus to everything that I want it to be towards. When you're single, you can think solely about yourself. So right now, my whole period of where my life hasn't been about romantic love, I've been putting all of that energy that would normally be towards another person into myself, into my goals, my aspirations, bettering myself. And honestly, it has been, I think I've been the happiest I've ever been in my life whilst doing that. Being in a romantic relationship doesn't mean that you're automatically going to be happier. I am not in one, and this is the happiest I've ever been in my life. If your life doesn't feel like it's about romance right now, roll with that. Don't resent that. Enjoy it and understand that it means that this time in your life is about something else. So dedicate your energy and your focus towards what it is about, instead of, you know, allowing yourself to feel down and upset about the fact that it's not about romance right now, because it doesn't mean you're never going to get it. It doesn't mean that. It just means that right now, that's not what your life is about, and that's not where your attention should be. It will come when it's meant to come, and that's fine. There's no rush. Don't be in a rush. Enjoy the moment you're in right now in your life, because I can guarantee there will be beauty in that too. Society really makes you feel like you need to be sad on Valentine's Day if you're single. Which is absolutely ridiculous. This is your reminder that that is ridiculous. If you're single this Valentine's Day, don't feel like you have to be sad because the world expects you to be sad. You have nothing to be sad about. People can feel sorry for you. People can act in a way where it feels like they're pitying you, or they're kind of like treading on eggshells around you when it comes to Valentine's Day if you're single. But don't let the way that other people treat you, or the way other people act or react to your situation, make you feel like you're meant to feel sad if you don't feel sad. Don't feel obliged to be sad on Valentine's Day if you're not sad. I know it sounds mad, but it's kind of true. Like, you kind of feel like if you're single, you're supposed to kind of feel sorry for yourself a little bit. You don't. Why? Why? Why do you have to feel sad? Your life is complete without another person. Why do you have to feel sad because you're not in a romantic relationship on February the 14th every year? That leads me on nicely to my next point, which is being single doesn't mean that your life is incomplete. Right. The issue begins with the phrase, my other half. You are whole. You are not half a person. You don't need to find the other half of your person to be a complete whole person. You already are. You are whole and complete as a person, whether you are single or not. Remember, a partner is an addition to your life. A partner is never the center of your universe that you revolve around. Sometimes society makes it feel like that's how it should be, but it's really not. It's really not. They're meant to come in and be an addition, but you are entirely fine and entirely whole and complete, even if you don't have a significant other. It should make no difference to the way you see yourself as a person, because you are already complete, you're already whole. That person makes no difference to that whatsoever. There's power in being single. And I think it's always seen as a negative thing. Like, anyone that's single is trying constantly to not be single. I think that is the overall assumption. But it's not true. Sometimes people are comfortable and happy in the place they are without a significant other. And it is fine to feel like that, because there is power. Believe me, there is power in being single and happy. Think about it, yeah? It's a time in your life where you can focus all of your time, all of your energy, all of your efforts, all of your money, all of your everything to yourself. You're an independent spirit. You can do whatever you want. Like, not that when you're in a relationship you can't do whatever you want, but you can literally just live entirely for yourself when you're single. Doesn't that sound like the best thing in the world? There's beauty in the phase of your life when you're single. You never know when the last day is that you're going to be single. Do you know what I mean? Like, you never know when the day is that you're going to meet someone, and then before you know it, you are no longer single, and you could possibly never be single again. And I think it's also that idea of the grass is always greener. A lot of people that are in relationships often say, oh, I do miss being single, or I miss things about being single. Because it's true, there's positives and there's negatives of both. So whatever phase you're in now, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're single, enjoy that. Because so much in life is temporary, and just because you're in a certain place right now doesn't mean it's going to stay this way. And there is going to be beauty in the phase of life that you're in right now. So whether you relate that to being single or taken or you can apply this concept to literally anything in your life. Anything. It doesn't have to be about relationships and romance. There is beauty in the phase of your life that you're in now, so don't wish it away. If you're single, you don't have to be anti-Valentine's Day. I feel like there's a lot of anger that surrounds Valentine's Day, and a lot of single people feel like they need to be like anti-Valentine's Day, or life isn't about a partner and da 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 da. And I agree with that, but that doesn't mean that you need to reject the celebration overall. You can still love the idea of Valentine's Day. You can still love the idea of love, even if you're not in a romantic relationship right now. So don't let anyone make you feel otherwise about it. Celebrate it in a way that feels right to you on the day. And remember, that is literally up to your own definition. You can do whatever you want on the day to celebrate it however you want, in a way where you feel like you're honouring what you want to. It doesn't have to be the generic idea of going out to dinner with your significant other and receiving roses and eating chocolates and getting jewellery. It doesn't have to be that. It can literally be whatever you want. And alternatively, if you want to, you don't have to acknowledge it at all. If you prefer it, don't make the way that, life has created this hype around the day, don't make that make you feel like you have to acknowledge it or celebrate it in some way. If you don't want to, if that makes you uncomfortable, if you just prefer not to, it's just a normal day, and in 24 hours, it's gonna be another normal day. It is the 14th of Feb. It is any ordinary day. I'm pretty sure it's like a Tuesday or a Monday or something. Like, whatever you would do on a normal Monday or Tuesday, you could just do that. And if it is a day that you just do not like, or if it's a day that is difficult for you, don't wish it away. I know that whenever it comes to difficult days or anniversaries or anything, it can be very tempting to just try to wish the day away. I can't wait till this day is over. I just want it to be tomorrow. Like, I just want to sleep through the next 24 hours. I just don't want to experience this day. And although it can be very easy to fall into that thought process and that mindset, remind yourself that every day is a blessing. You are never guaranteed to wake up the next morning. So if you've woken up that day, count yourself lucky and count yourself blessed and appreciate that. Take that 24 hours as a blessing, because it is. It's never guaranteed. So if you don't like it and it is a difficult day, I completely understand. Then do whatever you want in the world with your 24 hours. But don't wish the day away, because it's a blessing. If you have a negative stigma in your mind attached to the idea of being single on Valentine's Day, ask yourself why you think that is. If it's because, you're a hopeless romantic and you love the idea of just being loved up, you just love the idea of being spoiled and being taken to a fancy restaurant and being given gifts and just made to feel good, you can do that for yourself. You don't need to be in a relationship celebrating Valentine's Day to feel that or to experience that. You can take yourself to that fancy restaurant you want to go to. You don't have to wait for someone to come into your life and give that to you. You can give it to yourself. You're still being showered with love, so you will still feel loved. And if anything, self-love is the most important thing, because that is the most important relationship. That's the one relationship that is going to last for your entire life. So really, expressing love to yourself in the way that you really, really want it from a romantic partner is the most important thing, because that is the kind of love that counts, and that is the kind of love that will last. So whatever your idea of that is, whether it is going out to eat, whether it's, getting an expensive gift, whether it's receiving a rose on the day, there is nothing stopping you from still experiencing that or receiving that. It will just come from you instead. And there is nothing nothing bad in that. Every year on Valentine's Day, I can't remember when I started this, I think it was a couple of years ago, but from then, every year, I buy myself roses because I am a hopeless romantic. I love all that like soft, soppy stuff. I buy myself roses and I'll buy myself a gift, or this year I'm not going to do that because I've actually spent a lot of money, but that's just besides the point. So I would treat myself to something and I won't let myself open it. Even if it comes earlier or I buy it earlier, I won't let myself use it or open it until Valentine's Day. So it literally feels like I have gifted myself something. And it really feels great. Take it from me, it really feels great. You feel spoiled, you feel looked after, you feel like that feeling. It's great. It's so great. So if you haven't tried that, if you haven't done it, honestly, I would recommend it. Off the back of that, there is no shame in taking yourself out to eat, taking yourself out on any kind of date, or buying yourself something. I think there's an idea that you should be sort of self-conscious about buying yourself roses or taking yourself out on like a fancy date. It's literally just a narrative that exists in our minds that is something that we should feel self-conscious or ashamed about, because actually now it is something that is so talked about, you know, expressing love towards yourself and taking yourself out on dates. Like, it's a very talked about thing now. It's not like how maybe it wasn't really given attention back in the day. Now it's spoken about a lot and it's encouraged a lot. So really, if ever you feel like someone is looking at you funny, or you're a bit self-conscious about looks you're getting, or what anyone may think when they're walking past you and they see you sat at dinner by yourself, or whatever it is, I can pretty much guarantee it's more that they are looking at you in awe and admiring the confidence, because so many people struggle to do these things. So many people struggle to go out and do things by themselves because of that idea of being self-conscious. When you see someone else doing it, it's kind of like, oh, wow, I wish I could do that. Like, that's so great. I wish I could do that. Like, you're coming across as a very confident spirit. You're coming across with, whether you realize it or not, by doing that thing independently and for yourself, you are expressing masses of confidence. And that is the only thing that anyone else is going to see. They're just going to see a confident person. They're not going to see, oh my God, like, what? She came by herself. Like, that's a bit sad, isn't it? No, that's just a narrative that exists in our minds. You are someone that deserves to be celebrated. Take a moment on Valentine's Day, whether you're single or not, to make yourself feel good, feel loved, and feel celebrated. Valentine's Day should always be about self-love in some way. So whether you are single or not, I think it's important to take a minute and just kind of reflect. What are the things you love about yourself? What have you accomplished? What have you experienced? What have you got through from last February 14th to this? How have you grown as a person? Acknowledge how beautiful your soul is, how extraordinary of a person you are. Hype yourself up. This is a day for love, so make yourself feel loved. Alright guys, that is the end of the video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please drop me a comment, drop me a DM if anything resonated with you, if anything helped shift your perspective with Valentine's Day. I really hope that it did and puts you in a better mindset for February 14th. I love you guys so much. Happy Valentine's Day. I will see you guys next time. Stay safe, stay positive, and stay smiling. Wow, that was a weird order. Let's go again. Stay safe, stay smiling, stay positive. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next week. Mwah! Bye guys! Okay, I love you guys.